Hey everyone, I'm Brad Wood and I'm a senior consultant at Valiantis, and in this video we'll learn how to use the new Set to Recur feature in Jira. We'll look at options for how to configure this feature and discuss a couple of use cases. So here we are in a demo instance of Jira, and I've got this story called Weekly Updates. If I click on the automation button here, we can see that this is set to recur weekly. And if I click on this, we can see the configurable options for how to use this feature. So in the first dropdown, we can select to recur daily, every weekday, so Monday to Friday, weekly, or every 2 weeks. And once I've selected weekly, I can choose which day or days of the week I want this item to recur on. So maybe I need to do this twice a week, 3 times a week, something like that. I can select multiple days here. For now, I'll just leave this as Thursday. The next dropdown, we see we can either choose when scheduled or completed. So for work items that you want to recur at every X interval, regardless of their status, we recommend selecting when scheduled. If, however, you only need the work item to recur when it has been completed, simply select completed. And if the work item has not been completed, it will not recur. So it's kind of a prerequisite to letting this work item recur. If you select completed, again, it will need to be in a done status rather than any other status, which would apply to scheduled. And then you have a choice of an end date. This will let you schedule this out exactly 1 calendar year into the future. So today's October 9th. I could reschedule this to continue recurring all the way to October 9th in 2026. Once you've configured everything that you want here, simply click Save, and then this will now be set to recur based on those parameters that you have just selected. For our demo purposes, we have another story here, story 2, which was set to recur when completed. If I go over here to my backlog column, we can see the recurrence of that story is right here. When this was set to recur, the due date was automatically set 1 week in advance. So this, or rather 1 week in the future. So this recurred on October 7th. And you can see here this kind of recurring icon next to the due date lets you know that this is set to recur. And if I click into automation again, we can see that this recurs weekly on Tuesdays when completed. So again, Tuesday was October the 7th, and that's when this recurred. When your work items recur, they will inherit a number of fields. Two that are not inherited are start date and due date. And it will set a value for the due date that's going to be automatically set based on the schedule. For example, in a weekly schedule, the due date is set to 1 week after the creation of the work item. And we saw that on story 2 here. It recurred on October 7th. The due date was set to October 14th. And we've got that handy recur icon next to the due date, letting us know that this is a recurring work item. Another thing that gets inherited is child work items. So our weekly updates story here had 2 subtasks, and if I scroll down on our recurrence of weekly updates, we can see the 2 subtasks underneath it as well. This can be particularly useful if you have a kind of a complete set of work that needs to recur on some kind of schedule. Maybe there's additional or multiple pieces of work within that story, or maybe even an epic that need to be assigned to multiple users. You can set the parent item to recur, and then all the children will recur as well. So it'll go 1 level down in the hierarchy. So if your epic is recurring, then the stories or tasks that roll up to it will also recur. And then if a story or task is recurring, the subtasks will recur as well. So another note on some other things that will not copy to the recurring work items. So attachments, web links, linked work items, linked Confluence pages and whiteboards, and then also linked Loom videos will not be inherited to your recurring work items. So just keep that in mind when you are using this feature, that those items will not be carried over to the recurring work items. Behind the scenes, the way this is working is if we go to project settings and we go to automation, when you set up a recurrence, an automation rule is created in your project that adheres to the parameters you've specified. These rules are going to be read-only. So if I click into one of these, we can see that right here, this is read-only. But if you want to click into the conditions, the triggers, the actions of this rule, you can do that to kind of see how this is working. But you can see here, I can't really edit anything in this rule because, again, this is read-only. There are two ways to stop a work item from recurring. If we go back to my project, we can do that here. So let's go to story 2 and we'll go to our automation section and we'll go to recurs weekly and we'll simply delete this. And that goes away. And now we have the option to set this to recur again, but now this is no longer a recurring work item. You can see the recurring icon went away down here by the due date. The other option would be to go into the admin settings and either disable or delete the automation rule from the automation section within your project settings. So that's it for the set to recur feature. I hope you found this video informative. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn or email, both of which will be included in the description box of this video, and feel free to reach out